Yeah, it's quite late there in New York.
Yeah. It's about almost 9 p.m. It's currently almost 3 a.m.
Tough day. It's a tough
here
day.
in Cologne. I mean, to be fair, we're only doing 2 best-of-3s today instead of 4 like we were doing last week in a row. So
Yeah.
can't complain. Plus, you get to hang out with Frankie, with Maniac. It's the first time I've actually worked an event with Maniac. Last time I was on camera with him, I did an interview back in Cologne in 2015 about him going full-time player.
Yeah.
When he was on, I think it was Titan back then. Anyways, Liquid, obviously buying up into this. 2 umps. G2 not investing anything except, I think, a flashbang, and I think that smoke they threw before. And they're running, what was it, a blender you were saying before? It's an odd-sounding blender in my eyes, but it does sound more like an ump, and it does sound like Liquid are going to be taking this round for a nice 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like there's going to be any.
I thought you were going to say,
damage.
what, you don't blend your shakes with an ump?
Why would I say that?
I don't. You say some really weird things sometimes.
I am a normal person, Jason. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't keep a straight face saying that.
They don't know that.
Well, now they do. But again, like I don't even know what happened between Inferno and Dust 2 for Liquid. Like, they just look like a completely different team. They look like they just weren't giving the respect to G2 that they should. I mean, to be fair, like on paper, they should win this match no matter what. But then again, they've given G2 like some lifeline into this. I mean, even though Kenny kind of looked a little bit confused when the match was over, and Keo, like, yeah, you know, we had the strategy plan, but then some guy would get 3 kills and it just wouldn't work. So I think there's some frustrations that were definitely, you know, came to life in the last map, but hopefully the little bit of a break they did have, they're able to iron those out and, you know, take that quick little breather they might need. Because this is going to be a crucial game for them. You win this, you're into the playoffs. You're into the Barclays Center. And for a team who lost their in-game leader and brought in a sub who hasn't played, you know, at professional level for a couple of months, that's the best thing you could ask for.
Yeah, unfortunately, the path you have to go through beating the best team in the world is always going to be that little bit more difficult. Jax, a bit of an off angle, but it doesn't matter. Liege has decapitated him moving into this site, and leaves Lucky as the lone defender, holding back, and Twist will do the same as his teammate. The remaining players don't even have the utility to get back into the site. A singular flashbang, no kits. It's not really a recipe for success, and they're just going to have to fall out of this one. So Liquid with a fast play, and this is more what we expect from them. Like these aggressive pushes, winning individual battles. It's sort of what Keo was talking about in a sense of like, this is something that you can have everything prepared correctly. Your strategy can be on point, but you're playing against Team Liquid, who literally have 5 incredible fraggers. Like, they are, any of these players can pop off at any moment. We even saw it in the last map, which they lost. Like, Naf was still getting triple kills. We saw that sort of headshot transfer. I don't want to say spray transfer from Twist, because there weren't enough bullets for it to be a spray. Just like tapped a couple of players out. Now they go onto a map where, sure, okay, online they've had a few mistakes, but going forward, this is where we expect them to just utterly dominate.
Is this the map, though? They had a 100% win rate on Inferno. You
Yeah,
think
but
that
I feel
would be
like
the map they would dominate on?
At the same time, when they were dominant, they had 100% win rate, I think, across like 3 maps. I think it was Nuke, Inferno, and Mirage. And then they've just had a couple of slip-ups online recently. So I don't necessarily think there's much to worry about when it comes to Overpass. Like, sure, like the game they had earlier was a little bit dicey, but it's versus like NA opposition. I think you always have that sort of like battle of people who play against you fairly often. It's a bit different. And then going into this is one where they're just expected to win. It's also a map that Shox was very good at, which if you remove him from the G2 roster, I think it only gets much worse. So I don't know.
Well, there was a little bit of a stack towards the end. Lucky's going to be left by himself and eventually finished off. And Liquid's off to a running start, 4-0. Take these rounds with relative ease. Just to see like an interesting buy-up. We had some N4s. I think it was Lucky on just a 5-7. Don't think he even had armor in that one. It's kind of a mixed bag of buy-ups, but we are going to be seeing the next round coming through. We do have an op in the hands of Kenny S. An AUG for Jax. On the other side for Liquid, not investing into the ops. So I'm wondering if they're going to continue to try to play this fast-paced kind of style.
Well, it's been working so far, and it's quite difficult to play against. So, as mentioned, they've just got some of the most ridiculous players in the world. I don't think anybody at home really needs me to say that for them, but hey, you got to fill the time. They are going to be making a play into the B side once again. This time there's an incendiary to at least attempt to slow them down. Jax, same position as last time, and well, the result may be looking similar. Lucky's alongside him, though. He had a fantastic map on Inferno. And he started this round off strong as well. Still, the push continues. There's no stopping for Liquid. They're going to continue their way into this site. Still a couple of players here. Nice shot from Elige to get rid of Kenny. This round definitely isn't done just yet, but you have to wonder what's going to be the response. Elige again, just pushing forward. He's got Nitro in support. And again, this B site just falls to what is a fairly basic play from Liquid. They're just using their individual skill to get them through these rounds. Amanek, well, I mentioned it last time they were in a retake, and they had more players that time. A singular flashbang, no kit.
Do you think they're going to just keep going B until they get stopped?
That would literally be like if they went and found like the old Virtus Pro strat book, just opened it up and it just said plow. And then they just like close it again and put the book back down. Like that's basically what that strategy is. But that used to work for teams like VP.
So you're saying a Dren maybe opens his notebook and sees, oh yeah, I'm a genius. It's written down.
Genius. And then just closes it, puts it back down, and then yawns.
Coaching gigs sound really nice now.
Yeah, it does help if you know an awful lot about Counter-Strike, like a Dren doesn't have like a long professional career, but I don't know. I'm sure we could give it a go.
Okay, I could see it now. Tom Biz and Jason Kaplan create super team.
I think my main strat would be just win. Like, that's a good one.
I think that's a solid strategy to have for any team out there. I think my backup strategy to that would be don't lose.
Yeah, that one's good too.
I think together we have a pretty solid coaching philosophy
we have
here.
Covered.
Exactly. Let's see if Omnic has playground covered. He's been able to push up middle. Again, the buy, it's a little bit awkward. Some pistols and some armor. They do have one M4 for Omnic, who saved in the last round. So it seems like G2 are just running into a brick wall every time. And that brick wall just being Team Liquid, just shooting bullets at your face.
But this has more been the brick wall coming to them.
So it's like that Japanese game show.
Hey, we had something similar in England called Hole in the Wall.
I mean, that's pretty... Wait, what?
Yeah, that was
Sure this was a show?
It was not the most amazing idea, but it was entertaining, especially when you'd have a slightly larger person trying to fit through a much smaller gap, and just like based off science and maths alone, you could work out that that was never going to be
I feel
happening.
like I would not be able to play that either because I'm too tall.
Yeah, I don't think they make the like foam that big.
They don't have models that
They're
big.
like, we can't invest that much money into this show. Like, it's only going to last for a season or two.
Well, 4 players left alive for Liquid and 30 seconds left to go. They're leaving the push in towards A little bit delayed. I like position of G2 though. They're kind of grouped together in bathrooms. You know, all taking a bathroom break together, looking to push back in. They could do some serious damage. Obviously, Naf off to the backside could come around, flank behind them, and just decimate this sort of defense. But if they start hitting these shots, they might have a chance. There we go. Lige comes in from behind, or comes in. Naf, who was coming in from behind, is going to be taken out by Jax, most likely. No. Jax knows where all the 2 players are. There's a legitimate chance Jax could win this, but he needs to hit that first shot. The problem is timing is not working out in his favor. No kid either. Gets the first kill. Oh, Naf will save it the last second. 6-0 start for Team Liquid.
Yeah, that was a nice try. Like, if you take that round in isolation, like considering what they had invested to get that many kills, it is not bad. Unfortunately, when you're losing 6-0, it's you can't really do that. You can't take rounds in isolation. Those are the ones that you need to try and steal away. We are going to see a pause called. No better time to talk things over. Of course, again, seems to be nice work from Elige. He's been performing a lot better in this map, and there are a few slow starters in the last one. Adren has now just completely disappeared.
It's taking a victory nap. I can see him. I can see him back there.
Yeah, no, so can I.
I mean, to be fair, standing up like for hours on end is actually very tiring.
I would 100% sit down, especially if I was coach of Team Liquid and they were winning 6-0.
Yeah.
I think that's the moment where you can go, you know what? I deserve a break.
He's earned it. He's earned it. There we go, Liquid again. 3 players stacked towards the B site. Twist already able to take down on short, so no smokes, nothing really being thrown in on G2 side to halt this progression. Finally, a flashbang did come through to stop them from rushing to the site, but then again, the Molotov they threw before already did the work. This is going to be tough to defend. I don't know how they're actually going to be able to hold on to this one. Keo's already being burned down. He's still somehow able to escape this one. Sitting behind the pillars, more Molotovs come in. Nice incendiary out of him, actually. Should buy him some time. And now so the nade comes in to stall Twist. Man advantage over to G2 now. But I think they need to keep their cool. Patience has not really been a good virtue for them.
Yeah, I like this little crossfire that they've got going, though. The only problem is it seems like the majority of players are going to come through short, and this could just be like dominoes. They need Keo to get a kill. He does get one, and actually the trades work in their favor somewhat, but even still, the site is going to be wiped down. It's going to be Nitro able to get that bomb down. Not really anything they could do about that, and it's a double AWP retake. He actually has a good chance here of taking this away. He needs somebody to miss the shot, and in fact, he's going to be able to cross, getting into these closer range angles, which will definitely benefit the SG. Just watching to see if anybody comes through heaven, but they're going to double up together. There's a world where they miss both these AWP shots, and Nitro just takes both heads off, and to be honest, I'm wondering if it's starting to be this one. They do have a kit. Utility being expended. He's going to hear the footsteps being dropped. Gets the first kill already. And the second as well for Nitro. Big clutch coming out from him. It's not like they really needed it with the current scoreline. But Liquid, it looks like they're back. And so is Adren.
I knew you were going to say that. Hey, you know, he stood up when it got close, you know? Down to a 1-on-2. And now he's like, oh yeah, it was Nitro left alive. I forgot.
You need him most.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can't really say much about the Liquid side. 7-0. 2 players on 9 kills for them. G2 gonna switch things up by getting aggressive. Pistols. Yeah, I mean, you know, comparing like the middle takes, we haven't really seen much middle presence out of G2, but we also haven't really seen too many solid gun rounds out of them either. I remember back in Budapest, it was we were watching Tricked. And they set like 2 or 3 players in towards middle to get players set up and ready to contest to get some kills. Obviously with pistols here, you might not go necessarily that route, but we've not really had, out of these, you know, 8 rounds now, like a good solid buy for many of them. Oh, okay.
Ooh. Okay. Lucky at least managing to make this round a little bit interesting. Naf will close out another, and the last couple of players are so low. Lucky has at least been able to retrieve an AK, but you wonder if it's worth keeping into the next round. They'll have a buy no matter what. Loss bonus maximized, and Stewie's in such a powerful position. Like, surely there's no way Keo's going to be able to clear that angle, and Lucky is just going to make the decision to save onto this weapon. And half already won for Liquid. This is utterly dominant. And in fact, they're even hunting for that final weapon. Stewie playing another filthy position, just ready and waiting. Lucky, it's somewhat in a spot where he can be surrounded. It's a very difficult position to actually defend. And
is he going to get knifed?
Oh, he was thinking about it. You know, Stewie, out of everyone, would have wanted to get that knife kill, but kept his gun out until the last second. 8-0. Utter dominance at the moment from Liquid.
I have to wonder if you're G2, like what's your go-to now? I feel like almost at some points you have to hope for individual play. Like Kennyus has not been effective with the op because he hasn't really been given any opportunities to be effective. They haven't really gone long A much. They've been generally heading towards this B site time and time again. Finally, Kennyus is gonna have a chance to get aggressive, which he will hit the shot. So maybe that's the lifeblood they needed. Maybe that's the momentum they need to get back in this. Start taking some rounds, because already 8 straight against them is not a good start. Yeah, you took Inferno, you took a map that they're undefeated on in the last 3 months, but 1 map isn't enough. to win the series. And they have a double up setup, keep in mind, too. Lucky. It's going to be the secondary opper.
Yeah, they tried this early, of course, but it came down to a B-side retake, which definitely not where you want to have that double AWP setup. And of course, that was clutched out by Nitro. Just look how much money's also been built up by Liquid as well. Like 3 players over $10,000, the 4th being on 7,700. Like they're not going to be in any financial trouble for a long, long time. And even once that begins, it would still be loss bonus building up. Now they look to make their play on towards this A site. Amanek does some damage, but isn't able to get the kill. They're going to expect Kiyoshima, though. They do. Twist with another headshot, opening things up. But Kenny's here to try and defend. I say try because Twist has got his 3rd.
Oh, Lucky in the front, Jax in the back. Lucky's been able to do work on his part. Unfortunately, Jax will fall in the 1v1 up against Naf, and now it's all on Naf to clutch 1v2. Spots out Lucky as the smoke does finally bloom. And Lucky doesn't have a kit, so I think he's just looking for the kill, but the kill is not really going to net you anything because of the money they have. So he's going to rush him down, gets tagged up yet again. Glock comes around the corner. Yeah, you get the kill, but he's going to run away with the up. And that's still going to be 9 straight for Team Liquid.
Nothing seems to be working. This is something that they've already done once, 9 rounds in a row. Of course, in the previous map, brought them to overtime. Now they've done it at the beginning of the map, and, well, ultimately, you don't really see a road back for G2. Of course, they've managed to string rounds together before, but that was just sort of when they had the wind in their sails. They were really grinding out a lot of these rounds, winning those clutches, having those multi-frags go their way, and instead, they're looking quite demoralized at the moment.
They have the man advantage. Like, Kenny just rushed mid. He got the first kill. You need to be able to win rounds off of that. And I understand Liquid are the best team in the world at the moment, but you got to be able to close out some solid CS. You need to start getting some rounds. If we see like a 15-0 first half, I mean, even with 9-0 like this, coming back is going to be a very difficult feat for G2. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the double op, though, because of how quick Liquid are playing.
Yeah, well, they can't even afford it at this point. Kenny's going to opt to go for utility over Kevlar. We'll see if that is the right decision later into the round. Already such a strong position on that T side. It was shown at the beginning on the graphic that both teams are stronger on the T side. Now it's actually going to be dinked up down to just 1 HP, desperately trying to escape. And they've gone for this 4-man stack on the B side once more, just aggression coming out from Amanek. It seems like they're going back to their Inferno style of play, which is just taking some risks, trying to hold on to certain positions. Obviously, there's been a lot of aggressive plays coming out from Liquid on the T side so far, so it's understandable that they would try and stack up on B, but with nothing really being spotted and a much more slow, methodical style being thrown in by Liquid.
Keo, you got 16 bullets left total in your M4.
Oh, God.
Gotta be a little careful of your ammo now. I can see it now. There's a moment where he's trying to clutch and he runs out of ammo completely.
Well, hopefully there'll be some other guns for him to pick up. And, well, there is one down, at least on Amanek. Kenny is going to be able to find that opening pick. I believe that was actually the flash that came from the T side. So helping him out a little bit. The time's starting to tick away again, but it looks like it's all going to be onto Kenny to try and hold on to this round as the utility starts to rain in. He'll get his second pick and looks to fall back to the bank. But there's no cash to be grabbed as Stewie will be there to trade him out. And again, the utility just not in the best of positions to get them back in. They need a kill here.
He needs a new gun. He still only has 16 bullets left in the M4. If he's able to get one kill, I don't think he's able to pull off a second. There we go. First one done, 11 bullets left. He's got a teammate there. Naf trying to back away. 15 bullets in his gun. 1 HP, and this is from the start of the round if he can pull this off. And there you go, Keo takes him down. Chemo. Kind of missed a couple letters in there. Sorry, I was watching Breaking Bad again, and that just popped in my head. Kimoshima. It's late here in Cologne. It's 3 a.m. You okay, Tom?
No.
At least you're honest.
Oh.
But G2 take a round, more importantly, the first round of the half, 1-9. Start to their comeback from their nauseating 9-round loss streak. Maybe their hunger's back. Maybe their hair's going to grow back in. No? Chemo?
Yeah, okay. No, that's just really dark.
A little bit of a stretch, though.
I'm not touching that
Wait,
one.
you're not touching something dark. That's a first.
Well, moving on. It's going to be the opening pick coming out from Kenny. Lee's trying to get the trade back, but Kenny's going to even do more damage. 41 HP, and Elige has to fall off the angle. CT side still fairly dedicated to this same setup, the 3-man defense towards Monster. Keo starting to rotate back a little bit, but they've already used a fair bit of their utility. A minute left on the clock still for Team Liquid to play with. They have been losing the opening pick, at least within the early rounds. Deep smoke going to be thrown into long, just trying to keep these players here, and it is successful. There's now only going to be 2 players remaining on this site. It is Lucky and Jax. They've been the tag team to defend this site.
They're getting aggressive, though, towards Connector. I think that's Keo and Amanek have actually pushed up through toilets, and if they pick up the pace, they actually could flank Liquid before they have a chance to get in towards the site.
Yeah, Stewie does manage one, but Jack's still going strong. However, there is the trade eventually. Stewie, is he going to get caught out? I think he spotted Kenny going into this corner, and the rotation, as you mentioned, is quick. Amanek being burnt out, but he runs through, and he drops the bomb. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock for Stewie to play with. He's going to have to just try and kill everyone, and he's not going to be able to do it. A second round onto the board for G2, and again, it's that tag team of Jax and Lucky. They just seem to work so well off of each other. Obviously, join the team together, so they've got that extra synergy that we saw before from 3D Max, but even still, they just seem to be doing great work.
Yeah, even thinking back to Inferno, like the risky play they had on the A-side defense, so boosting up into the boxes on site, playing from balcony. Definitely been a great little duo between the two so far in the series. Kenny S not going to have an opportunity for a pick, though, this time. I don't think he's going to be gifted another opportunity like we had happen the last few rounds. Naf getting spammed down to 54 HP, looking to back away. He's pretty much the only one here at the B site, though. The rest of his team are taking a little bit of time to actually get out in towards middle, respecting Kenny and the position he's been holding for the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, clearing out Connector. They're doing a much faster job of actually getting map control, but with already forcing G2 back into more passive positions, you do worry a little bit. The executions from Liquid have been decent. What is this? 2 players in this little sort of back corner of the site. It's unexpected, and that has been something that G2, I think you can give them credit for, is they have played a lot of sort of weird angles to try and get them extra kills in these rounds. Again, we're going to see that deep smoke in towards long. It allows the T's to creep forward, but are they really going to expect 2 players in this left corner? The only worry is how good Liquid are actually transitioning headshots, so...
I was going to say the worry is Kiyoshima one of the 2 people there?
He's not. And look, they've killed off Amanek. He was the first one. So there's no way Elige is going to check this again. There's absolutely no chance. And Lucky has to do absolutely everything. There's 4 players in front of him. How many can he get? He doesn't even get Elige, but he does spray down 2 eventually. He at least denies the plant a little bit longer, but it's still going to be going down. He was so close to killing off Twist, and then from who knows what happens from then on. But Kenny has still managed to pick back into the site. Stewie's low on HP. Nitro, sure, is still set up and ready, but there is a possibility this time. A smoke even onto Kenny to get down onto the bomb, and Jack's trying to maneuver himself a little bit further forward. This is where they could just attempt to bait out the defusal. That's exactly what they're going to do. Kenny making quite a lot of sound, and actually Jack's just going to get on it, but the shots are missed. Can they stop him defusing? No, they can't, and G2, they get a 3rd round on the board again, starting to drag things back. Even gets both kills.
What's going on in this match, Tom? What is going on? 3 rounds straight for the G2 boys. 3-9 the current score. And, you know, we talked about Team Liquid, 3 players over 10K money, right? That was a few rounds ago. Guess what? Twist is down to 1,000. Nitro's down to about 2,000. Liege down to 2,000. Stewie on $100 and Naf on 1,300. They have eliminated the entire economy out of Team Liquid with these 3 rounds in a row that they've gotten. 9-6 scoreline. It's in the cards here for them. They're going to need a lot of kills, and look how aggressive they're being. Stewie rushes straight up towards short, trying to catch him off guard. He eventually pays with his own life. But Twist is going to continue the push, pick up the mantle where his teammate did fall before, and he's going to drop as well, but still kills being traded relatively equally. G2 still with the man advantage. Kenny somehow has not been spotted out inside the site. I don't think he's even really been too impactful. Only able to get 1 kill. But they've halted the progression. It's Nitro now alone in against 3 players. That's the first. Gets the second. There's a chance he could take this. Kenny, though, I don't think he's going to miss too many shots. And Nitro, smartly enough, backs away. Bomb's still going to be down on the site, so it's not like he can run back towards A. And Kenny's on the hunt, but he can hear him rotating back towards Monster. And this is a shot I know I'm going to jinx, but Kenny does not miss often.
And also, Nitro doesn't actually know where he is, so it should make things even more difficult. I don't think he's going to expect Kenny to be in the exact position he was in just moments ago. 35 seconds on the clock, so still plenty of time for Nitro to look for these different angles. And well, we've seen clutches like this from him before already, getting a 1v2 with the bomb down. But it's so ridiculously close, he turns back and he gets the kill in the end as well. Nitro wins a 1v2 earlier and a 1v3 now. And it's going to be another round on the board for Liquid. This man is on fire.
Guess what, Tom? Kenny missed the shot.
Kaplan Kerr.
Oh, I mean, that's a tough one to lose too. 1v3.
You're going to have the G2 army coming after you if you keep saying stuff like that, you know?
Please no.
Make sure you hashtag it, of course.
I don't need to be on Ocelot's bad side again.
Again?
I did enough of that during LCS.
Well, this is not the sort of economy you want to have in round 14. Even still, though, the firing squad does manage to take down a Liege. You can see the T's just ready for the DM to begin. While one by one, the remaining members of the G2 army fall. 11-3. Once again, the domination continues from Team Liquid. And there is at least going to be a purchase going into the final round of the half for G2. They can at least look to get that 11-4, which their opponents did.
It's like a reversal from first half of the last map on Inferno. 13 kills for Twist. He's had some really impactful shots on Inferno.
Well, Nitro's been utterly fantastic. Like, there's been 2 crucial rounds which he has just managed to completely steal away from G2. I like Amanek has actually dropped an AWP to Kenny and gone for a glass cannon rifle. That is what you call true sacrifice. They want to give this man the chance, and well, he's going to do damage, but take a lot more in return. Whoa! Okay, you can't do anything against that, though. Jack straight through the smoke is going to trade it.
Well, Team Liquid back to taking their time. Oh my gosh, Twist just, oh my gosh. Don't even tell me he's able to just open up the site like that. Lucky misses the shot. He comes around, takes down Jax, who misses his own. And just like that, it's down to a 4-on-2 for Team Liquid. Bomb to be planted here. Hiroshima's gonna be Molotov'd off. Oh my gosh. Down to half HP, just about from that. Saving grace is Omnic flanking from behind. The problem is you still have a Liege spotting him out. A Liege is now gonna know and let the rest of his team know there's a flanking from the back. And now with Keo going down, it's all on Omnic. And they know the direction he's coming from. And time is taken away. Glass cannon, no kit. And no HP. As Team Liquid will close out the half. 12-3 scoreline for them. Something they can be relatively happy about, which you clearly see on their faces there on your screen. But still, where was that Liquid on Inferno? Where was that team on the last map?
They're on the second half.
Yeah, they're in the second half. That's very true. Well, you know what? We're going to see how this match will play out in the second half after this break.
I hurt myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Couldn't fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I know my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah. Sarah, I lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my leave for the melancholy. Couldn't fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I know my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose.
Welcome back, everyone, to the conclusion of day one of ESL One New York, powered by Intel. As we're into our second half, our potential final half, at least it's our guaranteed final half of regulation time here between G2 and Team Liquid. As we move on to Overpass, 11-4 scoreline in favor of Team Liquid as they are looking like they should be able to close out this game. Sorry, 12-3 was the first half score, but looking like they should be able to close out this match and move straight through into the playoffs.
Yeah, we're
back to that.
We're back. I'm not overly surprised. This is going to have to be an incredible fight back, and it's going to start right here on the B site. A quick push-in coming from G2 as they look to try and fight what is a massive defense. Even still, though, a lot of damage done to these remaining players. I think they've realized there's a stack around this corner, and with the bomb not being dedicated, they might just have to take the time to double back around, hope that there's nobody behind them, which there isn't. And they have a chance to actually reset this scenario.
I feel like if we were watching Inferno, Team Liquid would have did like a double fake back to B for what happened in that last match.
I wouldn't be surprised if G2 did that here. That's quite a common thing to do in reality. The only problem is they now don't have any utility whatsoever. So there's no smokes, flashbangs, anything that can use to section off these positions, and that's just going to give a massive advantage to the USPs on the other side. It's not like they bought up a P250 for one of their players to have either. So this is going to be a really tough take, and if they're spotted out at any moment, they're now somewhat dedicated to the A site. Only 40 seconds left on the clock. They could realistically double back around. They do have Kiyoshima sort of holding down the fort, and maybe the plan is to show the bomb on that A site and then go, okay, now we go B. But I think you can see from the way that Liquid is set up, they're not going to be rotating anybody off until the bomb is dedicated within the last 20 seconds.
Well, it's going to be dedicated towards the safe site, moving its way through restrooms. I think Ali's just spotting it out. Going to be rushed down from long, though. Omnic gets a big kill that they need to take this site, though Twist is still going to be there, and Twist gets the first. And Twist might... Oh my gosh, actually both behind him. Stewie trying to come in, but Going for the hero play that just does not work out. Naf could be alone against 2. He does have a kit, and they are low HP. And can he actually... Is this planted in a way that he could just straight up defuse it?
I think it might be. Like, there's probably an angle there. I think he's going to look to try and clear these players out anyway, so it's not going to be too much of a worry. Both fairly low, and actually, yeah, he is just going to look to try and stick this, holding onto it. They need to stop him now, and it's going to be so close, but G2 will just take the round milliseconds away from sneakily diffusing it in front of them. But it's important. The French side, they get themselves the pistol round under their belt. Now this is where they can look to try and do what their opponents did versus them. As we saw, as I said, at the very beginning of the match, there was a graphic that said their favored side for both teams was the T side.
To be fair, though, most of the information should be for G2 should be with Shocks on the roster, if I'm not mistaken.
That, no, of course, of course.
But we'll see. I mean, they have a lot of rounds to go still. We saw Liquid do it on Inferno. So they know it's possible. And Twist is just... I'm even lost on his screen of where he was. Stewie getting up close to the CZ, gonna spot the bomb planters, gonna drop him, so delay the plant for a little bit longer. Reinforcements are gonna be there. Naf gets one as well. Finally, the madness might have been halted, though. That's the Liege with the Scout, Nitro with the USP, and the last 2 remaining members for Team Liquid. Oh, okay. Well, there's Nitro with 1. Not sure if he's going to be likely to get a second here. Trying to spot out maybe where the second player is going to be. Unfortunately, can't jump that high. If anything, you can just try to keep them there so the bomb explodes and they lose their weapons.
Yeah, just hoping for some sort of miracle shot, but instead, Kenny's going to make sure things are cleaned up. They'd still make it a little bit costly at least, but this next round, they're not really going to be able to invest anything. We saw Nitro had some spare cash, but that is just because he wants to get that AWP in as soon as possible. And well, now we just wait for the buy round to come in for Liquid. And this has to be one that's remotely clean from G2. They want to start things off right. They've got a few MAC-10s to sort of bolster their cash at least a little bit. It's looking like they're just going to try and blast their way through the B site. The only problem is it seems like the same idea was had for Liquid. I like this. They've invested into a double nade. This can at least look to chunk down a couple of the players, and they have done some damage already. 2 players tagged. A headshot hit by Stewie. A couple more of those, and this starts to get questionable pushing into this tag. They've now got 3. The remaining 2 players do have MAC-10s. They should be able to shred these remaining players down, but even still, this cost alone is enough damage. Can they actually steal this round away from G2?
Twist is going to go down to Amanek. Kiyoshima's able to spray down and get 1 and 2, and well, just as quick as we thought Team Liquid might have a chance, G2 shut that down. That was still, like you said, very costly, only able to save over 1 AK into the next round. But now we see the big gun come out for Nitro. He has the AWP in hand. And what do G2 have to really buy with? Luckily, they have Kenny S on 6.7K. He's going to invest into the op. Jack's unfortunately just going to be on the MAC-10 as well as Amanek, so it's not like they have the best weaponry to use in this round. They're really dependent on Kenny S to hit shots, which if you look at him over the course of this series, he's been able to do so. But he's looking for a shot towards Monster, and there's no one actually peeking him at that angle.
Yeah, so far, however, at least in this map, Nitro has been looking strong. Hasn't been using the AWP all too much. This is all going to come down to timing. Elige makes his way up, but looks like he didn't have any head armor. So a very easy kill for Amanek. That'll be a rifle upgrade as well. So even improving the buy. And the T side now look to just, again, slowly clear out the map. Try and spot any aggressive positions. Make sure there's no real chance for someone on Liquid to steal this away. Nitro is going to be well placed. He only manages to hit the arm of Jax, though. May slow down the push a little bit. You can see the T's a bit wary for him to go back for a secondary peek. Kenny's going to be holding in that direction to make sure. And in the meantime, the remaining T's still looking to try and probe towards long, where there isn't actually much vision. Although now we are going to have Nitro just jump spotting to try and see if there is anybody around that angle.
As we can tell, Jax is going to be there over towards long. Now really has to hit these shots to help alleviate the pressure from Toilets. He's not going to expect the second player to be there. Ooh. Just have a second chance to go for the fight, but Kennyus wins the battle of the ops. 13 seconds left, and he get the bomb down. The problem is if Stewie hits the shot on Ahmed, if he goes down from this, okay, or he falls from it with Kennyus hitting the shot, it could be big, but Twist gets 2. But the magic number was going to be 3. And G2 are still fighting. 7 rounds now for them. Can they continue this pace?
Yeah, the problem is, though, with the loss bonus being built, there's going to be sort of an on-round and off-round for Liquid now. So they will be getting more buys on the board. There'll be better buys at that. And even in the off-rounds where they don't have the money to invest, they'll still have, like, Deagles rather than USPs. They'll have Kevlar, maybe a nade or 2. So it's going to become tougher and tougher. Like, the top of the mountain is going to be the hardest bit to climb. This round, at least, a few pistols invested. Elige looking to get aggressive, but is caught off. The patience from G2 is enough to get them the first kill within this round. Once again, the gamble stack played into this B site. Naf going to get some further aggression out. Knows that there's a couple of players around this connector, so can't really do too much around this angle. Peeks in and, well, meets the same fate. Almost exactly the same, in fact. Lucky getting the kill, Keo with the assist. But again, these sort of rounds, they're all about these sort of plays. Like getting the information, trying something a little bit risky because you don't have much invested. Nice shot from Amanek at least, and well, this site is pretty much open, only one man standing. It will be Twist with the Deag, and you never want to doubt this man's Deagle. Even has the nade to try and do a bit of damage, but not really too much.
Oh, again, did some decent damage, but Nitro alone against 5. Just trying to make it costly, keep G2's economy in check. He's got 20 kills so far. He's actually at 101 ADR. I mean, they did win a 12-3 first half, so that's about in line. But I wonder at what point do Liquid start to get down themselves? You know, think back to Inferno. After their astonishing win on Dust 2, that was just so one-sided. And a completely different team showed up, and I don't know, it looked like they weren't even there to play at some points as you saw them on your screens before. Hopefully that kind of mentality does just change here on this map. Because obviously you don't want to have to play tomorrow, get the extra day off. They already talked before, I think it was Stewie, being interviewed by Sedikis, talking about how they have some things they still want to work on.
Yeah.
Having a day off to do that would be perfect, especially when you want to bounce back after the major and have a big victory under your belt. This would be the perfect time to do it. Likewise for G2, the day off could give them a lot of things to work on. Review their VODs, look at what's happened, try to improve into the playoff stage. So it's a very important game, I think, for both these two teams.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, it's an extra day of practice and the time to relax and watch over what went right, what went wrong. But at the moment, well, Team Liquid still sit within the driver's seat, although it has been 5 rounds in a row now for G2. This is where the buys start to come back in. Double AWP setup invested into fairly early within this half. Stewie picking up the secondary. Hasn't quite had the same level of dominance we saw from him on the first map, Dust 2. Hard to keep that level of dominance up, of course. Nitro's still going to be looking for this early pick, and Elige actually trying to sneak around the edge. He's going to actually find that first kill and manage to drop the bomb as well. 45 seconds left, and what did the T's even do to react here?
Just hope that Kenny can hit a shot. But there's not really a shot from position he was holding. Sitting far back on long. 20 seconds left to go. Oh, that incendiary grenade is going to just stall for so much time. Smoke's going to be used. Actually have to push through it. 15 seconds left. Finally, they do get in towards the site, but again, Elige is locked down Toilet. Stewie takes down Kenny, and now Jax is just trying to save the AWP with 5 seconds left to go. He's going to be flanked in from behind. He's going to fall. After time as well would be even more devastating.
Oh, no.
And there you go. Jax down on 2,500, and finally Liquid able to stop the rot and get their 13th round on the board.
Yeah, and the worrying prospect is I'm pretty sure Jax was the one with the least amount of cash as well. So going forward into this buy round, he might be left with a Mac 10, which who knows? That could be something that they look to utilize with an aggressive play in towards the B side. But they have to break back soon. This is an unusual scenario where the first half was so dominant by Liquid that you don't really get that extra lifeline. You don't get that chance to make a mistake or two. If they lose this one, money is wrecked and they're pretty much screwed. That's game over. So it has to be now, and they are going to attempt that fast speed play. It's actually Kenny going to be leading the way. Goes in with that AWP shot, missed, but Amanek manages to find two. Lucky has also got another. This is looking possible until Elise just shuts it down. 14 on the board now for Liquid, and well, I'm sure you can have a look at the finances, Jason. I'm guessing they're not good.
You guessed right, Tom. Good job. This effort I put in for this, by the way, to turn my head around to see the monitor behind me. All for you.
Which sounds really weird to anybody watching at home. For some reason, have monitors behind us. But
yeah.
It's an interesting setup.
We made this room our own.
Yeah, this is through our own fault, not anyone else's. But, you know, we like a challenge.
Well, 14-8. Team Liquid seemed to like a challenge as they lost Inferno. And G2 are giving it to him, to be honest. There was a good streak of rounds they're able to put up on the board. Hopefully it hasn't come to an end, though, as Naf is just going to spray them down. Gets two. Able to recover the M4. And Kenny has head armor as well, so not a bad pickup for him. But again, he's got all the utility besides the one flash out of Keo. Which Keo does get a kill onto a Liege, so that's a gun he should be able to pick up. An SG. So it's looking like more realistic for G2 to actually take this round. It's down to a 3-on-3. Two players located in the same position here. A little bit of luck can go a long way if they can just connect onto one of these two players.
The problem is you're not going to expect both. Even if they somehow, by a miracle, get Twist on the other side of the door, who's going to be expecting Stewie? There's a long rotation coming back around from Keo, which maybe there's a chance there, and they are just going to wait patiently. It is all going to come down to timing, but I think the second Lucky opens that door, he should be dead. They know he's coming. Perfect position for a Twist, but it is just going to be a trade. There's no way he expects Stewie to be in that corner, and that's the bomb dropped, and he gets the second kill as well. A much better performance from him. 19-14 on the scoreboard, and more importantly, 15 rounds now on the board.
One left to go. And G2, if they had any energy left, they have to summon it right now. Problem is, they don't have much to buy with Omnic on 4,400, Kenny S on 3K. What do you do here, Tom? Do you just barrel into a site, hope you get lucky and get some momentum off that? Do you play slow where it seems like Liquid have been able to get their number?
Personally, I think you just go for a Hail Mary play. It's more predictable, though. That's the only problem. Liquid are probably going to be reading the economy quite well. They've taken a pause on the other side as well, just to have a talk over. So yeah, after a pause as well, you normally expect some sort of ridiculously aggressive play. I wouldn't mind seeing them try to utilize the connector a little bit more in the early rounds and maybe just try and burst it that way. But the thing is, it's not the worst purchase in the world. Sure, Kenny doesn't have a gun, which is always going to be a problem, especially when he's the top fragger on your team. By the looks of it, they're just going to attempt to fight into middle instead.
Well, they did avoid a lot of the early damage thrown out by the grenades of Team Liquid. But still, they're running into the op out of Nitro. You got a Liege. I believe that is going over towards Long to help support him, help give an exit route for him to use. Actually, not both players basically be committed into the bathrooms. You can see the tension this round. Could get Team Liquid through to a day off. Could get G2 back on the grind to tie things up to throw it to overtime. Even though it's still a long road ahead of them.
This is such a risk being thrown in by Liquid. They didn't rotate anybody extra over. They're just relying on Stewie to hold B on his own. Nitro seems so close to being able to find a pick, but Just not quite there, hoping that somebody walks into his crosshair. Now, they could potentially have a fast flank, but they're still solely reliant on Stewie just holding down this site on his own. A singular flashbang being expended gives him a little bit of extra vision, but that will be everything he has to expend. The rotation comes back in, at least another flashbang thrown out by the CT side, just trying to get that clock a little bit lower, but Kenny gets the entry. It's left onto Stewie to try and hold on, and Jax just removes his head. There should be no chance, but they dropped the bomb. That could be it. They need to get on it very quickly indeed, trying to defend it off. I don't think they have enough time. Nitro might have just done it on his own. He closes out the map by dropping the bomb right at the end. What a fantastic round and a fantastic map from him. Unbelievable.
You talked about the quick rotate, the quick flank coming through, and you know what? The flank worked